The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. The Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Greetings. I have lost concentration.
For generations, your family, the Couslands, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Cousland's banner in service to the crown, not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True. That we both had less gray in our hair then. And we fought Orlesians, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Pup, I didn't see you there. Hal, you remember my son?
I see he's grown into a fine young man. Pleased to see you again, lad. My daughter Delilah asked after you. Perhaps I should bring her next time.
See what I contend with, Hal? You can't tell my fierce boy anything these days, Maker bless his heart.
Temperament to match his fighting skill. Well done, your lordship.
At any rate, Pup, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes? There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrn Cousland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope.
Not permanently, I fear.
Without their warning of the Darkspawn rising now, half the nation could have been overrun before we'd had a chance to react. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow Wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your son is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is one of my sons we're talking about. Well, Duncan, he is not interested. So unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription...
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, Can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone? In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me. You'll have plenty of time after we're gone. We must discuss the battle plans in the south. Be a good lad and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
Yes? We fought together under King Maric when he drove the Orlesians out of Ferelden. Heady times. The years since have not held the same promise. It's not something a youth would understand. It will be good to ride beside your father again. Your father hasn't spoken of our time with him? That man took care of his friends. As they say, he was large as life and twice as tall. It's too bad Kalen isn't half that. I think of him as much as he thinks at all.
That's enough, Hal. You speak of our king.
Oh, the boy did ask, your lordship, as per the latitude you allow. I merely offered my opinion. Poor weather, I believe. Their progress has been slow, but it's nothing you need worry about. In a manner of speaking, if I had reinforced our border levies earlier, my troops could have left before the rains. I confess, my confidence in your father allowed me some complacency. I guess that makes it as much his fault. I thank you. That is quite unnecessary.
I'm sorry, but I believe your father wishes to talk to the Arl and myself alone. Very well. I doubt your father would mind a slight delay. Indeed. We spotted a horde assembling in the Korkari Wilds not 3 weeks ago. Luckily, King Kalen took us at our word and marshaled Ferelden's forces quickly. The first battles have already been fought. Your father and I must move quickly. Thousands, perhaps 10,000 or more in this horde. Normally the Darkspawn stay in the deep roads. It bodes ill that so many risk the surface. Well, I understand the first battles have gone easily.
Indeed. Are the Grey Wardens sure this is a blight, and not simply some large Darkspawn raid?
No archdemon has been sighted yet, my lord. But with my entire soul, I believe this is a blight.
I wish we shared your faith. I suppose we shall see for ourselves once we arrive at the King's camp.
Of course. You are young, skilled, and obviously responsible, if your father is willing to turn his castle over to you. The Grey Wardens do not recruit simply anybody, and I intend no flattery when I say you show promise. The old treaties allow me to conscript you even against your father's wishes, but I will not do so. Our order is too small to risk animosity with Ferelden's nobility.
I'm glad I am to hear it.
It's tempting, your lordship, but I'm content to see what other candidates your castle offers. I have only found a couple of worthy candidates in my travels across Ferelden. Your father invited me here, suggesting this Sir Gilmore. If he is not suitable, I will head south and join up with the king. Not well. King Kalen is an eager young man who has shown great wisdom in responding to the Darkspawn threat.
I've heard he's a bit enraptured with the Grey Warden legend, and that is why he caters to your order.
How? That is unworthy of you.
He only repeats what we've all heard. Whatever the king's reasons, I'll take his support. The priority is defeating the Darkspawn before they threaten all of Ferelden. Until we speak again.
Shouldn't you be off to your brother, as I asked? Your brother and I go into battle, not an afternoon tea. Who knows what will happen to us? I will tell you, however. You're my cherished son. I love you. And I trust you completely to carry on the Cousland name if the worst should happen. But don't worry about me, dear boy. You'll have enough to occupy your mind while I'm gone. When the king demands it. In fact, not sending our forces south would be a distinctly bad idea. Don't worry, pup. You shouldn't see many problems, but I want you to prepare the men left here, in case. Legends of the Blights tell of horrible things. These Darkspawn once threatened many lands. If we can't hold them, you must prepare for the worst. The thought scares me too. But we are Cousland men, and we must be brave. But let's not speak of ominous things. We shall assume that all will go well, and the Maker will watch over us. I'll talk to you soon. Just let me finish my meeting with Duncan.
Maker, prepare a place for us. Redeem our world from sin. Forgive our transgressions.
Maker, forgive us all!
Have you come to pray for your brother and father? I'd be happy to ask for the Maker's blessings with you. Please, child, call me Malol. I've known you since you were a wee babe after all. Creator of the sky, the land, and the sea. Hear your people in our time of need. Let no man have cause to fear the shadows. Let their souls be lifted upon your return. So let it be. There now. I'll be keeping a vigil tonight. You're welcome to come. There are many more who must receive the Maker's blessings before they leave. If you would excuse me. It is the least I could do. If the worst comes to pass, child, take comfort in knowing that the Maker's will takes many forms. We shall talk once the soldiers have departed.
Good evening, my lord. It is begun.
Oh, my lord, we were just, well, the treasury's safe. I'm not even sure why the Terran stationed us here. I don't know. Nobody has come to look at the treasury. Yes, my lord. Thank you. We won't forget this.
There you are. Your mother told me the Terran had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt. Pardon my manners, my lord. It's simply that I've been looking all over the castle for you. I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again, and is threatening to leave. Your mother disagrees. She insists you collect the dog, and quickly. You know these Mabari hounds. They listen only to their master. Anyone else risks having an arm bitten off. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled, shall we? Your mother was quite specific. Unless the castle is under attack, you get that dog before doing anything else. Her words, not mine. Before we go, my lord, might I beg a question? I've heard from several people that a Grey Warden is here. Is that true? Then, is it also true that this Grey Warden was asking after me? Maker's breath, are you certain? Can you imagine me, a Grey Warden? It would be everything I've dreamed of. Of course, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Pardon my outburst.
Mother says the Darkspawn will all be killed and I won't see one. Is that true?
Hello, my dear boy. By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
Boys, you are referring to the Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect. If the mind is not exercised, it withers just as the body does. Perhaps you'd care to join me in teaching the lesson? Perhaps you could make the topic more palatable for these lads and their minuscule intellects. Wonderful. The Cousland history is long indeed. Where shall we start? Well, records are vague, but the Couslands became Tierns during the Black Age. Is that familiar, child? Every day I pray to the Maker that my lessons will stick, and every day he tasks me anew. At that time, your family held only the minor title of Ban. When the werewolves reached this area, Ban Mather Cousland organized a curfew and patrols within the city. Several other local bands supported his efforts by swearing oaths of fealty, making him their Tiern. Well, I'm glad some of my lessons don't disappear into that yawning chasm between your ears, young man. A pity you don't spend the same care whetting the edge of your mind as your tongue. At any rate, your family has held the Tournere of High Ever since before King Calenhad united Ferelden. In fact, Tierna Elethea Cousland battled Calenhad to maintain High Ever's independence. Calenhad wished to unite Ferelden, not conquer it. After Elethea's men were defeated, Calenhad asked her to swear fealty. The boulder where they held council still stands today as a memorial of that event. The Couslands are ardent royalists now, but at that time, Calenhad was unknown and considered dangerous by many. When Calenhad's army reached High Ever, Tierna Elethea led the local bands against him. Obviously, Calenhad won. The history between the Couslands and the House reaches back to the Orlesian occupation. During your grandfather's rule, of course, Orlais found it difficult to hold these lands. During the rebellion against Orlais, several battles were fought near High Ever. The port village of Harper's Ford was the Tournere's center. Its Arl was Tarleton Howe. Though nearly 90, he was still as sharp and bitter as cheap ale. Your grandfather openly supported the rebellion, but Howe sided with Orlais. Your family was forced to seize Harper's Ford before it was all over. Your grandfather couldn't afford to lose Harper's Ford. In keeping the town, your family drove Orlais from its lands. The Howes eventually joined the rebellion, when all of Ferelden united behind King Merrick and General Logain. Just as now we united behind Merrick's son, King Cailan, to fight the Darkspawn. Thank you for indulging an old man.
Oh, does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself for all the good I'm doing. Damn, that's myself all this while you do this.
Good evening, my lord.
We really should go after your hound, my lord, before he does something worse. Only what everyone hears. I never expected to actually see one. So few of them are here in Ferelden. Never. You hear about Darkspawn attacking homesteads and travelers, but I thought they were just stories. I hear they only recruit the most skilled. It'd be disappointing if that wasn't true. I only know that once you become a Grey Warden, your old life is over. There's no going back. As you wish. But what if the Grey Warden tries to recruit you? Have you thought about it? I suppose you have many other options. Me, I would give anything to be recruited. I would were it my choice. Your father decided I should remain with the complement guarding the castle. I hope that's because this Grey Warden wishes to see me. Well, you know I've served your father for years, since my own father sent me to squire here. My father is a minor lord in the Bannorn, but our land is little more than a glorified farmstead. I do miss it though. The valleys of the Bannorn are beautiful this time of year. I take great pride in serving the town. Still, if I had the opportunity to join the Grey Wardens, I wouldn't hesitate. With his blessing, I imagine. Joining the Wardens is the highest service one can render. Of course, my lord. Lead on.
Good evening, my lord.
Get that bloody mutt out of the larder.
But mistress, it won't let us near.
If I can't get into that larder, I'll skin both of you useless elves, I swear it.
Calm down, good woman. We've come to help.
You and you. Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down. Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way!
Oh, look at that mess. How did he even get in here? Wait, do you hear that?
Wild creatures ahead. Very well. More the fools they! As you say. No! Watch out!
And stay away!
It has begun. I shall do it.
Thank the Maker! Giant rats? It's like the start of every bad adventure tale my grandfather used to tell. Your hound must have chased them in through their holes. Looks like he wasn't raiding the larder after all. Those were rats from the Kokari Wilds. Best not to tell Nan. She's upset enough as it is. But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Isle's men.
There he is, as brazen as you please, licking his chops after helping himself to the roast, no doubt.
What? Rats? Not the large grey ones?
They'll rip you to shreds, they will!
See, now you've gone and scared the servants. I expect those filthy things are dead. Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into there to begin with. Oh, don't even start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then. Take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything. Bloody dog. Thank you, my lord. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about.